Okay, what's up, everybody? We're still awake.
Yeah.
There will be cussing, okay? I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna talk to you really real, how I talk to my friends. We have Ricky Cole joining, your host, fair play host, life host,
Yeah.
my black friend. Facts. And fortunately enough, we have Jaja today also, whom hopefully you guys took the class and learned her mentality, but I wanted her to also share her perspective with you guys. So this program is more of a trial, which I'll use you guys' response also to figure out how to formulate this. And I felt that during this week of dance, we're pushing ourselves so much physically that we tend to get lost in our minds because we're focusing so much on all this information our bodies are trying to do before analyzing if we even know what we're doing, because you guys, this generation learns so fast. We're able to pick up eye coordination and mobility really, really quick because of the format of dance that we have now from the years of experience of teachers that we created the format for you guys. The level has just grown, but there's a lack of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it is. There's a lack of intelligence in the generation. Not that people are sheep, but it's easy to tell somebody what to do and they're able to replicate it. But when you give them the choice or power to do it for themselves, there's a complication, there's a block. And it's not that they can't or that we cannot do it, it's that we choose to not be comfortable in ourselves to be able to do it, that we also have the power. So during this week is what I'm gonna focus on for this. I may do it where, like today is more informal, so you can relax. I see people already relaxed. Spread out. That we can breathe, have a moment during the week to also breathe, during classes to also learn mentally. And there'll be a segment at the end where you can also ask questions. So if you do have questions, it'll be towards the end. If you don't have it for today, it'll happen the next couple of days if you have questions, and I'll be around. The reason I'm saying for the whole week again is to be your mental coach and teacher. So I may not have all the answers, but I do take the time to invest in finding out things, or I'm not afraid. If you guys know me really well, I have the character to debate things. So if someone tells me something and there's no proof of it, or there is proof, I would like to know what that proof is to make sure that I'm not just following someone else's words and not knowing if it's the truth for me. Could be the truth for them, but it's not the truth for me. It may not work. The stuff that we teach you guys as teachers here is information from us, but it may not click and work with you, but you are still learning something. You're learning that you either like it or you don't like it. And there's like a funny thing that I say to some people is that we never, how can I say this? It's a funny like tongue twister, kind of. We never not know something. So when someone says, I don't know, and you ask them, why don't you know? And they still say, I don't know. Even when you don't know something, you know that you don't know. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, when you don't know something, you know that you don't know. Therefore, you always know something, right? Cool. And these are the kind of things I want to share my mentality. I have a natural character and natural mentality to look the other way. It's not that I choose to, it's that when everyone usually goes left, I go right and look up. So it's awkward, and it's all about perspective. So today's subject is going to be about perspective. Does everyone understand what perspective is? Just to explain a little bit better. Perspective, what's up, Kev? Wearing that pink pants, those pink pants. Because of Shao. We just found out today that Shao's like partially colorblind, so we're messing with him all day like, bro, that's not pink, that's blue. It's fun, mess with your friends. And he's like, what? No. Today is perspective. Perspective, let me come back. And this is gonna happen like this. We'll talk about random things and joke around with you guys. I don't want to feel like it's a strict educational course. I want to treat this as if we're talking with a group of friends and you just came into the conversation and started talking. It's just like that, and you can add to it and just kind of pull. And hopefully, if this works, which it will, I'll work it out with you guys, that for the next year, it'll be an official program where we'll be able to supply things for you. Like I see people have paper and books, I love that. But I would love to have that already ready for you with the program, so you'd actually expect to know what you're coming into and have your questions and mentality ready. So that'd be my goal, because I've tried this in a few other countries and it works, but it's always different in English for some reason, because we're honestly crazy. They live in a culture that's pretty standard, and we live in a melting pot of a bunch of cultures and mentalities, and we're more susceptible to being open to other people's opinions and lifestyles, because it's just a big mixture. So again, today is perspective. Perspective is just another way to look at things in a different point of view. So we look front at a box, right? And it doesn't look right to you, you just turn it, different perspective. Turn it to the top, different perspective. Another analogy is the Rubik's Cube. You guys know this game with the colors? Perspective to get to one goal. What's that one goal? So I'm gonna do this every now and then. I'm just gonna say something, and if anyone has the answer, just yell it out. Boom, the same. Or to simplify it, just to match the same color. Just make it the same. It's just a different point of view, and it's all mixture. But when you mess it up and all those colors are mixed around, it's just complexity. But it's a complex that's still in one form. It has a purpose, and that purpose is you. And this is what I'm trying to get to, is that you are a complex design. A human being is so complex. It can be so simple, but by design, we're so intricate. There's so many different mentalities and different personalities and characteristics and colors and flavors, but in the end, we're still one thing, and that's a human being. And each person has the same capability as the next person, but we have come from different lifestyles and different ways of growing up in our cultures and even in our education, that we get to the same points at time through different perspectives and different flows. Like, you know, there's a lot of people who try to do dance at the age of 30, right? They think it's too late because another kid who's 15 killing it, I hate them, but I love them, have utilized the information based on the elder generation. And it just passes on. And each time that the years pass on in decades, it becomes more advanced. And we can't get mad at that. It's just the way it happens. And the thing that I like to do is apply a metaphor. You guys know the recycle symbol, right? I don't know if it's the same for you guys here, but in the States, there's the 3 R's, and it's recycle, reuse, and reduce. Have you guys also used this, or is it something similar? Okay, so I'll explain. It's a full circle, a dog eat dog, meaning it comes back full circle and the process goes again. So I also call it the hamster wheel. It just goes in a routine. Recycling means to take something and to reform it with the thought of an end goal, to process it into something else. It's the start of a process. So we take an aluminum can. When you recycle something, that product is the aluminum can, right? What was the second one? Oh, reduce. We take this can and we melt it down to reduce it into its base form, its first layer, right? It was a product built of something through processes, and then it's broken down to the base form, which is a key element. It's a metal, right? We got that? Yeah. Cool, we're awake. Recycle, reduce, and then reuse. The last thing is to create it into something else or use the same base to make a new product, which would be innovation. You take something that's already made and you recreate it into another design, which is innovation. And that's something I also tell for choreographers or freestylers, is that there's no new dance move. There's no new movement. It's been done. If you call yourself original, you better have a definition of originality that's different. Because if you say if you did a new move, it's just a combination of a few other moves that have already been done. But you can innovate the moment, the musicality, and the purpose of it to give it a new life or to have it looked at in a new point of view for someone who hasn't been experienced to that movement. So it's just reintroduced again. It's a recycle thing. So I would have a joke sometimes where I would post the recycle symbol on some choreographies on Instagram that they're saying, yo, check out this new move. And I'm like, no, bruh, you're recycling. Like, I'm sorry. You're a clone trooper from Star Wars. Like, you're the same. You have the same armor. You have the same gun. It's just that when I shoot forward, you just shot a degree left. You know, it's the same stuff. And I don't mean that in a way to be discouraged, but it's to acknowledge, acknowledge the reasoning for it, to be able to have the focus and strength and determination and confidence to take it in another way and then recreate yourself. So again, with perspective is that if you feel you get stuck in something and it doesn't work out for you, we tend to have the capability right now to just drop it, right? We let it go and then we try to do something else because it didn't work in that moment. It becomes frustrating. And in this time, especially during social media, is that it's a consistency. We move too quick to slow down and relax and try to figure out why didn't it work? There's no more why. Why did that not work for me? It's, okay, what can I do to get the time back that I lost by skipping a few steps? And that's the focus that's been happening a lot right now. So with this is that you don't ever want to just quit right away. It could be something beneficial for you and something that can strengthen the new level of you. Like right now we're version 1, let's just say. You want to be the next version 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, right? You just want to change the perspective. Maybe you need to look at it a different way, and that's what I want to pressure you guys to do. Pressure and positivity to take the time to slow down in order to move faster. And I said this probably a few times last year also in my classes, that when you try to grasp so much, you lose strength. Because when you tighten your muscles closer, it's much stronger. Especially like when you close your fist. If you do that right now with your fist, open it up, close it, you feel the tension. There's a tension inside of it. That's the strength of it. The reason why is that it's close. It's simple. Open, close. Boom, we know this already. That same analogy you can apply in your life, right? Or not. I'll just say right. If you apply, then you can recreate yourself in ways that you wouldn't have imagined. You will start liking things you may have not liked before because you have a different understanding of it. So again, with the recycle symbol, I keep forgetting this damn thing. Reduce. Reduce, somebody write it down, tell me.
Recycle, reduce, reuse.
I changed that formula into AAA. I'm just pretending this is AAA. 3 A's, right? It's absorb. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm not tripping. Absorb, adapt, and then apply. So taking the same format of the recycle symbol, changing this and putting it into a life hack, even into dance. You absorb the information that we give, you absorb the information you get from your environment with your friends, you adapt to it, meaning it works for you or not. You adapt to become a new version of you, or you adapt to the change that it doesn't work for you. It's okay. I try to say this, it's a good positive to also be negative. To know that negative, it doesn't work for you, is a positive thing for you also. And then apply back in your life. Okay, that's too close. Apply it back. So we have 3 A's, right? What was the first one?
Absorb.
Oh, snap. Absorb. Then what's the second one?
Adapt.
Boom. Adapt. Last one is simple. Apply. Well, she said a good one yesterday, too. She said 2 of them. We were talking on the way to the hotel. She said analyze. And that's also, that would go between like absorbing and adapting. Adapting is also analyzing. And then you said another A one also. It was a good A word conversation.
I know three B's.
What's the three B's? So, all right, check this.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so how I look at creativity and originality is my three B's, which is which is breaking, bending, and blending. Yeah, that's what I go off of. So when anything that is creativity or creative or original, it's most likely a combination of something that somebody broke or some bending or some blending, okay? As an example, I give an example from my own dance, is that people say like, oh, Jaja is so unique with the crumb style because she puts it together with robotics, right? But in reality, I just took the crumb foundation, which is from tie-dyes, and then I took the robotics from Robert Shields and Matt Chet, and then I blended together, yeah? So it's not original, I just stole something and then blended it, okay? And like that, it happens with a lot of things in life, you know? If you want to create a new flavor of ice cream, most likely you're going to blend something together as well, you know? If you want to if you're a statue maker and you want to make a new statue or figure, most likely you got inspired from something and then you just bend the shapes, yeah? With breaking, the same thing. I mean, what's a good example of breaking?
Breaking. Yeah, I feel like with breaking, you learn the foundation, and then to make it not the same foundation as everyone else, you take a piece of the foundation and you break it apart and add something personal of yourself to it, to give it just your own twist to it. But like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is a great way how you can look at it, you know. If you want to create your original style, you can go off of those three. And if you're really going to work on it, most likely you will get something that is your own. Yeah.
Tight.
And yeah, yesterday I was also talking to Lando about the analyzation. I feel like that's something that is not being taught in schools at all. We are taught to follow and to memorize. And sometimes we are taught to create projects and stuff, but even still in the projects we are following usually something. But we are never taught to analyze, when, for example, a teacher gives us facts and makes us analyze, is this really truth or not, you know? So the same thing applies in dance, you know, when somebody is teaching you some style or foundation or choreography, do you ever stop and think about the moves or the foundation, or do you analyze it ever? Do you see the similarities of some hip-hop foundation and popping foundation, or some popping foundation and crumb foundation? Do you ever see the similarities, you know? So yeah, one of the things that I was analyzing, because I learned back then when I was coming up, I learned all the street styles. And then when I started to crumb, when I analyzed it, I was like, oh, a lot of people say that crump is hip hop, right? But in reality, when you learn the foundation and when you are in the style, you realize that the foundation of crump is way, way, way closer to popping than it ever was to hip hop, yeah? So yeah, those are just like little analyzations that you can do yourself as well, instead of just following what is told to you, you know? You understand? Yeah.
Tight.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Today in the class, I said one thing, and this is something that I learned from Beast, Baby Tight Eyes. He always says, believe in your creations as much as you believe in your imitations, right? So when you are learning choreography, you're confident in it and you believe that it looks good because you already see that it looks good, right? But the minute somebody asks you to create something, a lot of people get really shy, and a lot of people get like really like, I see it in my class. When I ask you in my class to create something, you're like, you start to look around at other people, and then when today it happened, when one person created something, other people started to follow the person and did exactly the same thing. Why? You know, just because you didn't believe in your creations, you know, and it can be a simple idea. The stuff that I was giving you guys was a really, really simple idea. Another thing was this is really funny test that I did. When people take pictures with me, 90% of the time, the person is gonna do exactly the same pose that I do. Exactly the same pose, 90% of the time. Why? You know? It's just an analyzation that I ask myself. Because usually when I do pictures, I change my pose every time, right? Sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this. And really 90% of the time, the person is gonna do this exact same pose, right? It's funny to think about it, why, you know? Why don't you believe in your own pose, you know? And as Lando said, when everybody is going left, he's gonna go right and look up, yeah? So try it sometimes.
Okay. So like I do look up. I look up and down and cross-sided and upside down. But on that subject, I can give you another reason why. Is also that they want a moment to connect with you also. So it's a relation in the photo. If I do peace sign, they're like, it's a moment for them to connect also. It's maybe not all the time that they don't have the confidence to do something else. 90% of the time it probably is. But that 10% is that they just want to connect with you. Maybe. Again, that's just my point of view, the way I think. But you touched on something about the school thing, and that's a perfect example on how we're led to learn things. How many of you guys are already graduated? I mean, you passed high school, you're done. Most of us, right? Pretty much. How much of what you learn in school that they taught you do you actually use in life? Exactly.
He said, "What?"
Well, you did vocational school.
Like maybe 2%.
Yeah, a lot that I learned in school, a waste of life. I'm sorry, public education, if you're watching.
Oh,
They don't teach us stuff. Yeah, exactly. How to do
your
your
taxes.
taxes. They don't want you to know
Amen.
how to do your taxes because they want your damn money.
they want
The
your
more
taxes.
mistakes you make, the more they take. If everyone did their taxes correctly, the economy would not survive. Like most likely. Like what else don't we learn in school? Like history, okay, I get it, but it's force-fed. And how much is that is proof of history other than another man's story? It's his story. History. His story.
You're learning somebody's story.
Yeah, it's somebody else's.
Just, jeez.
And I even got something on that. It's another perspective. Would be, let me see, I wrote it down. Each year passes by, right? You break it down, like she said, with the 3 B's. Years are broken down into months. Months are broken down into weeks. Weeks are broken down into days. Days, hours. Hours, seconds. And then I'm not that smart to know it goes past that. We'll just keep it at seconds.
Yeah.
That time you can't get back, right? So are you okay with that time that has passed by? That time that you lost, are you satisfied with that time that had passed? And when I started thinking this way, I was like, no, I'm not satisfied. I should know more things about myself that would make me stronger in the community in my life that I'm not being taught. Therefore, I have to take the power to learn it myself. And with the digital age, the information is all out there. And sometimes it's fake stuff, you know, because like in our government, straight up, they lead you in a way where you don't oppose them. When you start thinking for yourself, you become a liability and a risk against your faction, meaning their faction is your country or your group or whatever group that you're part of. When you oppose someone or you start thinking differently, you become a threat. And I believe being a threat is where true growth comes from. and where people become innovators and originators of things. When they start to spark thought and applying that into different fields is how we get new cures for diseases, or those people who get Nobel Prizes for writing words. Like, I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. Just being pushed to do more outside of myself takes me to do it. And just from a personal note, I didn't have all the confidence to even pursue that. We're not even taught to think that, for me to even acknowledge in myself that I'm able to do it. And to bring it back, that concept back to dance, is how I even started getting into choreography, or just this dance world, aside from the underground, because I come, of course, from the street styles, right before the transition into it being accepted into the studio. And I mean accepted, meaning by monetary value. It was a moneymaker because it was new, but not that it was truly accepted, because it wasn't a technical dance to blend. It was too raw, too uncontrolled, again, it's an opposition to the technical dances. And it's just trippy. But I was at a point where I learned so much from the street of being able to create myself. We weren't taught, yes, everyone can learn the 6-step, right? It's a basic move. But after that starting point, it's up to me to create my own flow, my own movement within this. I'm not going to be taught that. And in the street styles, you don't have a teacher that really teaches you how we teach you now. You learn by environment and watching and trial or error, making mistakes. And I'll get to the mistake thing in a second. But my story was, I tried to do the group thing. When the crews first started happening, the studio crew companies, I went to try out for a company, I won't say, to throw them under the bus.
Who is
But
it?
no, because they did good in the world, but you probably know. And I came from San Diego.
I know.
I'm from San Diego. It's a different mentality. But I tried it out. Again, I didn't know what I was getting into. They even taught me like across the floor jazz stuff, and I'm like, wait, y'all said hip hop. So what am I doing with my socks only on, and people got half their ankle sock off, and I'm like, okay, this is new. Hip hop, right, we're gonna do it. Tried it for 2 weeks, I'm like, nah. And the first thing they told me was that I wasn't falling in line. And when I heard this, I was like, boom. Like,
Dang.
okay, I was too different, unorthodox. I wasn't falling in place with their musicality. And this is when I started figuring out that my ear was different. So therefore, I didn't connect with them. So I knew that wasn't for me. So I left, but I was still around. And at this time, well, I could say KB's name. Well, they're gonna figure it out. If you guys know your history, you figure it out. KB, you guys know KB, Kevin Brewer? No?
Jabberwocky?
Jabberwockies. You guys know Jabberwockies? Okay, nobody knows besides the mask.
We know.
I say it this way, KB is the black guy. You guys know the black
They're
guy?
like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
that Jabberwocky.
The one with the melatonin.
Oh my God.
When they came down and migrated to the San Diego scene, they had also joined, this group. But that was the first person I met that had the similar musicality, because he was also from the underground aspect, but developed his mentality and style into the formats of choreography, of how the studios worked out. So I found a relation. And this is like why I'm doing this now. I want you guys to find a relation in the words that we're sharing, or find it within yourselves, or take the concept that we're teaching you guys right now to class and just have that mentality of finding the relation of what type of things you like to make a better you. I like that he had the similar mentality, that I wasn't so different, because again, earlier I said that most of us, when something doesn't work out, we tend to quit and drop it. And I was ready to quit. I was like, damn it, choreographies doesn't make sense. Even though, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, I was musically advanced at that time.
I can confirm that.
And Jaja confirms it. Thanks, Jaja. Like Jaja in Italian or Spanish is like laughter. Like yeah. Okay.
And it's eggs in Croatian.
It's what?
Eggs in Croatian.
X in
Eggs in
Croatian.
Croatian?
Eggs. Jaja is eggs. So you're laughing eggs.
In Polish also? Wow.
Your name is laughing eggs. I
The
needed that
memes
one.
start now. Look.
Egg laughter. Okay. So now when I
Back
when
to the
I
subject. Oh my god.
I'm gonna message you like eggs with eyes. Emojis. Crap, what was I talking about? Oh, the relation. Musicality was advanced and I didn't even know it. I just had this ear, a mastery that I developed through my environment. And to say this now, I have another subject later on in the week about mastery, but you guys are already masters at something. Some of you may know it or not, you already have a natural way that works for you. It's just finding that way and applying that into everything else that you do. So, for instance, oh, well, hell, Kevin's here. I'm gonna put him on the blast real quick. You guys know Paradox, right? Known as Kevin, government name. You can fake clap, we'll do jazz style. To me, his mastery is math.
Okay.
He's a mathematician. And the reason is that I caught him one time preparing was it last year? Or 2 years ago? Okay, well, he does this all the time. I was at the hotel. I walked to the hotel. He's preparing for you guys his program, and I see him on the ground like this, and there's a bunch of paperwork organized on the floor, and it's his mind a written format that's mathematically written out. It makes sense to him. It's probably not difficult, but if we read it and looked at it, it would look like plans for a bomb or some massive global takeover or something. That's my mentality. When I saw him, he was ready to take over the world, and he had the plans on the ground. And I'm like, well, bro, I'm with you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The customs are gonna be like.
Mathematician. That's his mastery.
I was like.
So to go back, what'd you say?
I said they're gonna stop him at customs. Like, we heard Lando. Talk to you, bro.
I'm gonna knock your teeth. To me, and I'm not saying that it is his, but from looking from the outside, his mastery is math. He's a mathematician, and he found a way or developed a way to apply that into a different craft, and that's dance. His forte would be dance. That's his passion and his love, and the things that he develops and he applies his time into is in dance. Therefore, he took his mastery, figured out a way that works for him, and applied it to something else. So with this, is that some of you guys might be, what? Give me some stuff. Writers, right? You might lyrically see things different, but you don't think that way in dance. If you take what you already mastered and try to figure out your format to apply that into dance, I can guarantee you that you will start developing quicker and things will start making sense to you in ways that you would not figure out. For me, it's two things: cartoons and colors. I have a knack and a specialty for remembering and analyzing colors, auras, whatever it is. And I match those colors to energies, right? And those energies I can match into different strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, when I apply that back into dance, I know how to apply texture, or when I hit, it's a movement and flow in my mind. It's a color, and I can't explain it, but that's the way that I mastered that mentality into that craft. The other thing is cartoons, and it goes back to humor. I also have a natural talent in humor, sarcasm, dark humor, murder, whatever it is. I can find anything, and they know. I'll find something funny about anything. Even though it's a real life thing or not, doesn't matter. I can find humor in it and not make it so serious for myself. With this, makes me comfortable. I'm more relaxed. I'm not uptight and stressed. So when I choreograph and teach, I can develop so fast without anything holding me back. I can make a routine for class 30 minutes or 10 minutes before, or do it during class.
Facts.
And they know, I can make a routine and not make it look like a routine in class, because I know my body and I know my confidence to not make it look like a mistake. So I can do this But if I don't show my face and I show the intent, you don't know that it's a dumb move or not. Only you can show that it's something bad or good. Because in dance, it's all about also being acknowledged. When you're in the cypher and you're getting down, as long as you're showing your development and, of course, on beat, we want to be looked at and respected for what we do. But if you have the confidence in what you're doing, regardless of what they think, you become a threat and opposition. Therefore, they have no choice to either accept what you're doing or just disregard it. But as long as that you know that, you won't be broken, ever. I don't ever get choreographers block. Why? Because there's so many moves I can do without care. You guys understand that? I don't care, and I don't give a F about what you think, therefore I will never get stumped. Nothing will ever hold me back, because that's just my carefree cartoon mentality. And when people do things that I don't understand, I apply that mentality into what they say. So when someone says this, okay, I don't know exactly how much pressure they're doing because I'm not them. I don't know what they feel. But in life, I've seen people put out a cigarette, got it. I've stepped on a cockroach and killed it. It's the same motion, same intent, different perspective. And this is what I want to share again. It goes back to perspective. We already know these moves. We've already experienced it. When I do my booty drop, right? And people don't do it. I'm like, okay. Now pretend your butt touched the toilet water. Whoa. How many people have fallen in the toilet before and the butt touched the toilet water? That's how low I would like to go. And when I say this, you're like, oh yeah, I've done that before. Yeah. Put your butt in the toilet water.
Dang.
I'll talk like this in class to give analogies and different humorous way to explain, which causes the entire environment to be relaxed. And when you're relaxed, you learn quicker. You want to learn more. You absorb more. You apply it back better. You leave happy and accomplished. And that's the end goal as teachers, should be forever, is that you guys leave with something to develop yourselves in and then accomplish. Boom. I'm not going to drop it because it's private property, but boom. You want to drop anything?
I'm gonna go off of a little bit off of all the stuff that he was saying. Is the character. I know a lot of dancers ask me a lot, how do you find your own character, right? And a lot of times they're trying to search for it in some kind of really complicated way, like I'm an alien from Mars and I'm coming to this earth, you know? Like it doesn't need to be that complicated, okay? Character in your dance is very important, and usually the character should come and will come from your own life. So exactly how he was saying, your dance says a lot about you, how you are in your own life as well. So think of other stuff that you do in your life, or other stuff you like in your life, other stuff you do on regular basis, okay? So as he said, for him it's cartoons and, what was it? Cartoons and what? Colors. For me it's cleaning. I just clean all the time. Even if something is clean, I still clean it. And that's why I'm so into technique and cleanliness in my dance and control. And also, for example, for Crump, I cook all the time, right? So I do a lot of cooking concepts and a lot of cooking stories in my Crump as well, right? And that's something that back in LA, that people see me on regular basis sessioning, dancing every day, they already know that I'm about to cook something in my round, okay? But it's real. Like there is so many, and then the creations are gonna come when you are thinking of cleaning or cooking. There's so many different moves that you can do and then actually show it on your body, even if it's abstract. Maybe sometimes I don't know exactly what you're doing, but because you have a concept and reason behind your moves, it comes out with a different confidence that makes me believe you more. and I'm already more like, okay, what is she doing? Okay, what is he doing? Like, this is interesting. You understand that? So character in dance is really important. And again, most likely, it will or it should come out from your own behavior, your personality, your life, the other stuff that you do, right? Then continuing from another thing that he was touching base of a little bit is like information, right? Information. So a lot of people from a lot of countries that I travel to, first let me say this, perspective. It's really, really, really important, I think, for you guys to travel. Even if it's to different cities, meeting different people, if you can travel to different countries around your country, maybe, you know, it doesn't need to be a crazy travel across the world. It doesn't need to be. But you need to travel because travel will give you different perspectives so much. Because what is normal on one side of planet is not normal on other side of the planet, okay? So as an example, this is an extreme example, right? But in Los Angeles, I'm in a session and a person pulls out a gun at the session. This there is normal. It's a gun, it's normal. There are guns every day, everywhere, and you hear shootings there every day. Here, it's something unthinkable. Like here, it's something that you see in a movie and you're like, whoa, you know? And maybe it doesn't even click to you that what you see in the movie is actually real life somewhere else, right? Yeah, but I've seen it with my own eyes. And when I saw it the first time, I was still on the European mindset as well, you know? So I freaked out. I was like, what? I'm going calling the police, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, no, it's okay, you know, it's fine. I'm like, what? You know? So different perspectives, you know, and this is an extreme example, but just so you guys know. Then another one was, okay, information. Normal information, regular information, and dance information. Okay, people ask me, for example, oh, I'm the only person in the city that does popping. Like, I don't know, like there is nobody else that would teach me. I don't know where to find the information. Like, it just sucks, right? But I'm like, well, it's so easy, guys, right? I feel like nowadays we have so much information, but I'm sorry to say that, we are getting dumber because there is so much information, right? But it's so easy. You go on YouTube and you type in popping class. And I bet you will find stuff. For example, Green Tech, one of the best poppers in the world, has a whole 2-hour class on YouTube for free, yes? Red Bull just started so many online classes for free on every style that you can imagine, right? And I know that it might not be the best start, but it's a start, right? Where you can connect with other people, you can find other people from different styles, you can find somebody that you like, that you don't like, blah, blah, right? And from then you can continue. You can pass down the information to somebody else and then create a community in your own town, yeah? And like that, it goes with everything. Like literally, absolutely every answer to every question that you ever had is on the internet. If you go on Google or YouTube and you type in how to make a plant-based milk, you will find 10,000 videos on how to make plant-based milk, and it's so easy you can make it in 2 minutes, right?
Dang.
Yeah, but people don't know. People are like, oh, I don't know how to make an almond milk at home, okay? But it's so easy, right? So I'm just giving, that's another perspective, yeah? To really just, everybody has a smartphone nowadays, right? All the answers are in your computer, laptop, or your smartphone. You just need to go and ask. That's it, yeah?
Oh, I got something. Piggyback off perspective. Literally something off of what she said that sort of makes sense too is like, I feel like a lot of people get uncomfortable with character in class too, sometimes just because you feel like you're not authentic to that character or that style. So if the vibe of the class is like feminine and you're like, I'm not feminine, then it's hard for you to like articulate that or commit to that style. If they tell you to be gangsta or to be mad, for some people are like, I'm not confrontational, so it's hard for you to believe yourself as in being that, you know what I mean? But it's perspective, because if you think about the gangsta in Compton versus a gangsta in like Netherlands or like Disneyland gangsters, like, you know what I mean? Like the Polish gangster from like, you know what I mean? Like a Japanese gangster are two different, they dress different, they look different, but they gangster. You feel me though? You got Netherlands gangsters in the house, but I'm saying a Netherlands gangster does not look like what a Hawaiian gangster would look like. You feel me? So with that being said, perspective, if I say be gangster right now, they're both gonna stand differently, because what they see and what they're used to is just it's culturally different. So you don't have to feel that because I'm not standing like you or acting like you or my choice wasn't the same as yours, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be confident in your choice, because that's what you know and that's what makes sense to you. Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to be comfortable and just as confident in what you know and what you understand as that, because it's true, it's right with what you've seen in your own eyes. Just like she said, like stuff that she's seen in sessions in LA are not things that she sees in other sessions back at home. So it doesn't mean that the session's any type of different within like the quality, but it's just you're in a different cultural area. So same time, that's just a reason for you to be confident, knowing that like just because it doesn't look like the person next to you. Two is, I think of it like I think of character as in like, I think dance is a universal language. We can feel and understand sort of what someone's going through or what you're trying to get across, no matter what language you truly speak. It's like the dance we understand within that language. So if you're not a confrontational person in general and you don't like to talk in general, for me to ask you to act that way as a character, you're probably going to show within that you have no vocabulary in that sense. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you need to be comfortable speaking to people and standing up for yourself. The more you do it, you'll get more comfortable with it, yeah? So the more comfortable you are actually able to commit to these characters, the sooner that it'll feel comfortable for you to use that voice, if that makes sense. So if that is a style or a genre that you really like, put the time into speaking it. Like if I start talking in Polish right now, it's not gonna sound the best. But if I keep saying these words a year from now, like I'll probably sound pretty okay. You understand me, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying though?
To add on what they said about character, because I will talk about this later on, if you guys want to write this down too. Let's bring it back to music, right? Boom. You guys hear a song, and people say, you know, have character so much that you don't even know what the hell character is. You just do things that you're not thinking. 4 things I can share for applying character or a character to pull from. Sometimes you don't even have a character to give, that you need something else to inspire and motivate you to gain a character. And the 4 things that I use when I dance, when I listen to a track of music, right? The first characteristic I pull is the music itself, the genre. If it's reggae, if it's hip hop, country, opera, stuff I don't listen to. That's a type of character. It's a style of music, right? Style is also characteristic. The second thing would be the artist that's on the track. Even though the music is a different genre, let's say it's reggae, right? And you have A$AP Ferg rapping on it, he has a certain style of rapping that'll advance and match or upgrade that track with his style. He has his own character. So when you hear him rap, or someone rap, whatever your favorite artist is, Beyonce, let's say, she has a style of singing. It's recognizable. That's her characteristic. And you can also use this characteristic in your dance to become that persona, that personality, which is also character. Character's personality. So we have what? What was the first one?
Type of music.
Okay, all right. Just make sure we ain't sleeping. Genre, music, the genre. Second one is?
Artist.
Boom, artist. Third one is the DJ, the producer of the beat.
Mustard on the beat.
Mustard on the beat. Swizzy. Who else? Timbo. Who else? Talk to me. Yes, Pharrell. They all have recognizable sounds for the most part. If you hear the beat drop, or if they have a little ad-lib in there, ad-lib is like the little thing they always say to make it recognizable. That's their characteristic. That's the third thing to pull from, is that their style of music is a characteristic. So one is
Music.
genre. Two, boom. Three, DJ. The fourth one, and there's more, but to narrow it down, the fourth one for me is concept. Concept of character. Something that you are not. Today, I'm gonna dance like a fireman. I don't know what that looks like. I'm gonna dance like a one-legged, cross-eyed cat. Don't know what that looks like,
Whoa.
but it's a concept, right? Again, I think over here. Concept you can apply for characteristic also. It's imagination. Imagination is another form of a personality that you're not or that you are, and then you pull that back into characteristic. So, first one is music genre. Second, boom. Third, number 4, concept. I always give that to you guys wherever I'm at, that you can pull this from characteristics. So when someone says to be a character, you have a plethora, a lot of information that you already know to apply, become, or create a character that you want to be in that dance. That way you can be more open to new ideas, which would push growth. And that's something that we want as humans. Our brains want to expand. It is built to expand, to learn and pull information. If we don't utilize this muscle, we become dumbasses, straight up. Example, I'm a dumbass at, let's just say math. I haven't been in school for I don't know how many years. All the math that I learned in school, from trigonometry to calculus, I was so damn good at. If I don't apply it through time, your brain starts to push it back. You know, you don't use it anymore. It's not applied. Therefore, if I try to see these formulas now, I don't even recognize how to get to the final answer sometimes. And I'm frustrated. I'm like, my brain knows this, but because I don't practice it and apply it, it becomes weaker in that field. Stronger in other things, but just to go back to is that if we don't strengthen our minds or allow it to expand, we become dumber. We become dumbasses. Like straight up. I'm gonna talk to you guys real as possible. Like this is how I talk to everybody, my friends, family. If you don't use what you're supposed to be built for, you just become a weaker version of you. You lose value into what you want to become. So when you ever come towards a moment that you need it the most and you can't apply it, is because you didn't stress that muscle. Just like working out. When you work out, you gain muscle mass, you know, if you're on a diet, I don't know, or vegan milk, plant-based 2-minute YouTube videos. It's application. And application also comes from stepping out of the norm, stepping out of the box, being in opposition, be a threat. I want you guys to be a threat to your everyday life. A positive threat, like pushing people. What, someone showing themselves over there? Y'all being nasty? Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was.
I'm dead.
But again, that's what I wanted to share. And then the last thing I want to share with you guys on the last subject, because I'm always going to keep this kind of like an hour short for you guys and not to be too much with information, because I know we're hungry and get tired and go to the next class. But she brought up the point on perspective of travel. And I said asshole. Huh?
Yeah, you did.
I didn't try to, but I as well. What's up? Now all I can think about is, but travel. Yes, travel. Boom. Last thing I want to share is that travel does help expand your outlook on life and in your mind. And the example is 99% of people think in this way, okay? And I'll say it in a way that's recognizable. Everyone is born from the womb, right? That's the first place that you're at. Then you expand into a room. Your environment is now a room. Then you're at your home. Then, if your parents are nice and you're allowed, you get to play on your block, right? Then the block is what next? It's a district. Then if you keep expanding this, your outlook starts opening up. You start becoming more comfortable and acknowledging things that there's more to what's going on outside of your bubble. So when you expand, you keep all the knowledge that you have in a bubble, but that layer that's keeping your bubble together is what that perspective is. That's what you want to break out to. So you always want to keep pushing that bubble out. After that is a city. After a city is what? State or province, yes. After that is your country. Then after that is a bunch of water. Then it's the world, right? It's the world. After that, that's a horizontal expansion. And after you see this, you start having a different respect, more knowledge base, because you have experienced other yous in life who've learned many different things. You learn about the value of money is different in different places. That's what the normal people thinks, right? Horizontal. Again, I think this, and this. Then I think up. How is it that people... Okay, I'm gonna build to this. This is the last thing I'll say. Travel through a bus, right? It gets you from one point to another. Automobiles. Then you have a plane. That altitude gives you another outlook at life. You look down, you know, you guys ever been in a plane? Everybody's been on a plane, right? That's how we got here, maybe? Or you've always, who lives in Poland for the rest of their whole life? Never been anywhere else?
Everybody said,
It was like, I've been somewhere. Virtual reality. Let's just say, for example, everyone's been on a plane, right? You gain a different perspective looking down. You be like, damn. One perspective is if I crash, that's a long ass fall. And I think this all the time. Two is like, I can't even count how many people are down there right now because it's so far up, and that they're ants. They're just so small. So my outlook on life is a different respect. If I had the option to, and I would take it, would be to have the point of view of an astronaut, someone who's been in space. Imagine how much their mind has expanded being from space looking at a damn planet. I can't comprehend it, but I want to so bad. And I feel like that would give me a different perspective and a different break in my mind, which I don't even know how I would grow. I wouldn't know what to do with that information. And that's why I watch, like Netflix things that talk about when you talk to astronauts, or I think Will Smith has one called, what is it, Life, what's it called? She's Will Smith.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's a documentary with Will Smith and the Earth.
Does anyone know it?
The Strange Rock.
The Strange Rock.
If you guys have Netflix account or steal your brother's or sister's account, I do it all the time. Will Smith has a similar thing that, it was another world one that Morgan Freeman did, because he talks like this all the time.
I'm dead.
I'd be falling asleep. I'm like, it's interesting, but Will Smith has one called This Strange Rock, and it gives you another perspective on looking at things that you already have experienced or have seen, like oxygen. He'll cover things lightly, like on faith. If you guys have a religion that you believe in, it applies on faith. You can't see faith, yet you believe in air, right? And air you cannot see. Therefore, it is a form of faith. So it's a weird thing to kind of turn it around by changing the meaning. You can change the meaning and not be forced to think that faith only means religion all the time. It's just having the confidence in believing in something that you may not be able to see or feel. Even though you can feel air when you move your hand, it's there. But damn it, you cannot see it unless it's on a microscopic level. That kind of stuff makes me trip the fuck out. Like straight up. I'm just like, okay, there's so much more to this life that I'm living, this short lifespan, that I'm not acknowledging it. And it didn't happen until like a decade ago. I mean, I'm 37, or I'll be 37 soon. 36? 36.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna practice saying 37 now because I swore I saw some of you guys last month and it's already a year later. Like time flies, and it's the value of time that I'm taking more serious, which is why I'm giving my time to you guys, and we're giving our time to you guys now because there's a value to it, and we value you guys so much because it is you, the virus in dance, that's gonna spread out and contaminate. Again, this is
Dang.
the way I think. I
It was
think in
like-
a funny, dark way. You guys are a disease, right? And I want you to go infect the rest of the world with it is that you are, basically, and not to be stopped. And to have those connections and create those links and bonds, connecting our world again. It is terrible,
He
but
said
you
that's
guys know
terrible.
but you get what I mean, though, right? I'm saying something that makes sense to me, but do you guys understand what I'm talking about? To spread, maybe they can say it in a nicer way, but I just don't like nice things.
I have something to continue with this too. Yeah. Continuing off of him as well. Also realize, guys, that yes, 50% of our DNA is inherited, right, after our parents, but the other 50% we are being conditioned, and it's just the conditions that are pointing us in certain ways of our life, and also we are being conditioned on our personality as well too, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is also because our personality is conditioned by the culture that we are growing at, the country, the people around us, our siblings, our parents, and the habits that are around us, right? Everything we do in life is just a habit, yeah? The way we stand up, the way what we eat, the way we dance, or the things that we like, everything is just a habit. And everything can be relearned, right? So even from your parents, and this is gonna be maybe harsh to hear it, but we are being conditioned by their mental weaknesses as well. If you look at your issues and your problems, and let's say you have an issue with communication, or you have an issue with getting really angry, or you have an issue with confidence, most likely it is coming from your parents, okay? And it's something that you learned, it's something that you were conditioned to, but it is something that you can relearn if you put the time into it, right? I didn't realize this or didn't believe this as much when I was growing up in the Czech Republic, because I'm from the Czech Republic, because I was just conditioned so strongly, right? But once I moved to America, like completely everything changed for me, everything. And I had to really dig deep down into my personality and find the roots of why am I doing this, why am I saying this, why am I doing it like that, right? Find the roots and then slowly start to change it. But it really takes a lot of dropping your ego and really not saying, oh, this is just the way I am. That's not just the way you are. That's just how you are conditioned. And that's just what you learned from your parents or your surroundings. You understand that? So that's another perspective. And trust me, like, I feel like I can talk a lot on this because I did the switch from one country to going to other side of the planet and living there. I didn't speak English at all. I had no relatives or friends there, no money, and I was learning completely everything from the bottom again, you know. And yet the culture shock is crazy. It's completely different, you know. So again, it's another perspective again.
Cool. Dang, Jaja. Happy eggs. So we'll stop there. Is that okay? I know it's a lot of information on the subject, but I appreciate you guys also coming. I'll open up for questions in a second. But to say it in a nicer way, go be a cure. You're not a disease anymore. But if you want to be, feel free to be a disease. But go be a cure in your classes. Like, create a happier environment. Someone struggling, help them out. Grow together. That also helps humble you and realize what kind of person you are and what you're going to grow into more and more. But hopefully we'll see what goes on the next couple of days. And also, I think tomorrow, just to give you guys a heads up, if you're coming back, there will be probably some dance going on or dance examples to kind of get you going on. So I don't want it just to be all information and talk. We also want to give you guys examples with other guest teachers that are going to be here to visually show you guys also for those who learn visually. It's just like another example is when someone doesn't understand music, I always tell them to go to the computer and let it sleep. You guys know the screensaver? When it sleeps and you have a beat playing and it starts moving around with the lights.
Yeah.
You can learn musicality visually as well. And for those who don't pick up naturally from the ear and they learn from the eyes, use what you already know. Use your eyes, screensaver. Or if you don't know the power or depth of music, go to the equalizer. You guys know the equalizer? The red, green, yellow lights. When a beat hits, how high it goes up. That can also gauge how much force you want to apply to a certain move. If it's boom or if it's boom, it'll show you visually. So you can use things that you already seen before and apply that back to help you grow faster. If something doesn't work with you musically, try it visually. That's just what I want to give to you guys also, yeah? I want to open it up for the next 10 minutes before, or if you guys need to cut out, it's no problem for the next class. I don't know what time the next class is. But if you do have questions right now, I want to open it up. And if you do want to ask, or if you want to save your time and make sure it is what you want to ask for the next couple of days, you can ask it whenever as well. But I and we will be here for you guys. Is there any questions at all? I can't answer that. Straight up. Next. No.
I was developing it without knowing it until somebody pointed out. So it was kind of developing naturally, but I just didn't know it. And then other teachers or my mentors started to point it out. And then it wasn't until I danced for 18 years now, so it wasn't until 15 years in dance when I was like, okay, this is my character.
I'd have a question though. What do you mean by character? So style? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. That, like how she said, it'd be hard to pinpoint when that starts because it is a developmental thing. But I don't normally think in that way. But I know what you mean. For me, to develop when I started having character was when I was born. We all already have a characteristic when we're born. We start showing character. So I guess when I was born, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes even just like when you're in a crew or if you started off that way, sometimes you already get dubbed like just off of your style or off of something characteristic wise. And I think sometimes a lot of us run with that vibe, you know what I mean? But I feel like when you get to that place where you're starting to, I think an easy way to figure out your character is do what you do naturally and have people you really trust give you feedback. And the common stuff that you hear a lot of times is what you naturally do and are, if that makes sense.
Cool.
Also, one thing that it's mentionable as well is you can have more than one characters too, you know?
Yes.
Because, for example, the way you act in front of your parents is different than the way you act with your boyfriend, and it's different the way you act in school, and it's different the way you act at work. And that's completely normal. It's just different personalities, different surroundings, right? You're not gonna act in front of your parents the same way you act in school, right? Yeah, so...
Or like when we freestyle versus battling.
Yeah.
Two different
True.
characters.
Yeah.
One is smooth and enjoying, other one is murder. Like it's different characteristic And like when I want to dance one way into another one and I can't, it's frustrating. Like I want to murder when I'm freestyling, but I can't because there's no one I'm directing the energy to other than myself. And it's weird dancing by yourself. But yeah. Yeah, no problem. Anything else?
Other
Or can we
questions?
go get ice cream?
Oh, oh,
She was
she
quicker.
got first.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, how would you apply emotions into choreography and steps or steps?
How to apply emotion?
Emotions, yeah.
Okay, well, for me, when I do apply emotion, it's my first instinct. When I play, let's say, a song that I like that I want to dance to, it's when I map it out naturally in a way that I create a pattern. What stands out the most, when the moments are there, when the underlining beat has a moment to be listened to, or if the lyric has a strength or a bend or a pull, my natural instinct and how I feel is what I try to memorize in this. So it's all a memory thing. What I naturally feel is what I want to apply my emotion to. But if I have a concept and I want to apply a story, let's say, for someone to understand the emotion that I want to apply, then I have to make a plan already before I even go into that music. Or I'd have to have an idea and concept for myself to go into there to kind of force the emotion to work out in that story within that music. So two things for me would be it's natural instinct, and other one is proof of concept for me to apply emotion. I don't know how.
Yeah, for me, most of the time, it's acting. Is just acting. It's like if you see me doing choreography and I'm mad or happy or I give like a smirk or I'm flirty or something like that, it's just acting. Yeah, and same. One way that I learned that a lot good was when I was on the 13 You Can Dance show, because here you just go 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 and there is no time to like switch your emotions or anything like that. You just have to go and you just have to turn on your loving emotions right away, you know. So I feel like acting and dancing really goes together, and it's something that, you know, it's one thing. And sometimes my real emotion comes out in crump, but it's very rare.
Mine's a combination of both, instinct and acting. I feel like what you naturally do that you actually feel is a genuine gesture. And like I was saying earlier, it's like a language. So since it's like a language, yeah. Since it's like a language, whatever you can do that actually would be understood, whether it be a feeling, whether it be an actual movement or gesture, just as long as you feel like it can get conveyed or across. So naturally it's your first instinct, but yeah.
Cool. And then we'll take the last one that was here because I know next class is at 7:15, so we can get out and get our groove on. It was you?
It was a belief. You have to believe in your own creation as much as you believe in your imitations. So you have to believe, as much as you
Check,
believe
check.
in doing somebody else's choreography, you have to believe in your own choreography you created the same way. Huh. How do you? Yeah, like, okay, so I don't know if I understand your question exactly, but so when you are learning choreography from teachers here, you already know all these teachers are really, really good. So when you learn the choreography is already really good. So you already believe in it. So then when you're creating your own choreography, you have to believe it as much as you believe in this choreography. Because if you believe in your own choreography, that's what's going to make it look good.
I got you.
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
That's the confidence.
When I freestyle at battle, I'm dancing. If I'm not showing something that's wrong and I believe and have confidence, nobody knows that it's wrong. But as long as you know that's what you want to do and what you want to share, that's proof of belief. Therefore, you should have no sense or feeling of failure. Other than that, it would be self-doubt, and that'd be a different subject.
Because there is no such like, how do I say it?
I got it.
Your
I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Basically, when we're teaching you something or if you're learning from anyone's class, you don't question them when they show you what the move is. You go for it and you make it feel good. When you make up a move yourself, you question yourself, like, is this cool? Is this? But if you were to just go with what you did, like it was right and believe in it, just like you don't question the choreographer, you would get done with the choreography quicker and it would actually probably be just as strong. But it's the fact that we second guess ourselves and we're not second guessing anyone else that's telling you what to do.
the belief in your own choreography is what makes it look good. It's not the steps. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
But, again, I'm going to go this way, this way, this way. It's also that these teachers, let's say the teachers, they're acknowledged through time as well. So everyone who follows them and likes what they do, through time they develop themselves to be acknowledged, therefore we don't question them. But I will tell you this, there's a lot of famous teachers and artists out there, I'll talk to the camera, that do a lot of dumb bullshit straight up, and I can see it. But they don't show that they see it, and also people believe in them so much that they don't want to see it. So you can learn a bunch of crap this whole week, and you would never know unless we showed you, we won't show you, but unless they told you. But if you have that knack of seeing through things, you can see that that time they had nothing to choreograph for that moment, and that's a bullshit move. They're just trying to get to the next hype part that they had already choreographed prior, and it's all feelings. That's why, like, when I see trendy dances in a routine, like what the fuck is that thing? The floss, the running man, like all these trendy dances, they're cool as social dances, but when I see it in the choreography, and I'm guilty, I do it because it's for the people, but I don't rely on it as a weakness to fill in something that I don't have. And that's a crutch, when you start relying on a trend move for the sake of filling in a part that you had nothing for, just in order to get this other part that's more important than this. But every move that you do in the choreography should be important. It should be you. It should have purpose, yes. Boom, I'm done.
Answer your question?
More than enough. Cool, okay, let's close it out. Thank you guys so much. Use what we give you guys, abuse it. It's for you guys to take control of your life again if you're not. Just take control and focus it on things that you want to do and accomplish. Go be a cure or a disease.
Don't be the disease.
And I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. There should be some dancing tomorrow, so be ready.
I'm going to
Go.
be the disease.